I spent some time by the seaside without incident. Oh, there are people the sea doesn't suit, who prefer the mountains or the plains. But personally, I feel no worse off there than anywhere else. I took advantage of being at the seaside to lay in a store of sucking stones. Oh, they were pebbles, but I call them stones. Yes, on this occasion I laid in a considerable store. I distributed them equally between my 4 pockets and sucked them, turn and turn about. Now this raised a problem, which I first solved in the following way. I had, say, 16 stones, 4 in each of my 4 pockets, those being the 2 pockets of my trousers and the 2 pockets of my greatcoat. Taking a stone from the right pocket of my greatcoat and putting it in my mouth, I replaced it in the right pocket of my greatcoat by a stone from the right pocket of my trousers, which I replaced by a stone from the left pocket of my trousers, which I replaced by a stone from the left pocket of my greatcoat, which I replaced by the stone that was in my mouth as soon as I had finished sucking it. Thus, there were still 4 stones in each of my 4 pockets, but not quite the same stones. And when the desire to suck took hold of me again, I drew again on the right pocket of my greatcoat, certain of not taking the same stone as the last time, and as I sucked it, I rearranged the other stones in the way I have just described, and so on. But this solution did not satisfy me fully. For it did not escape me that by an extraordinary hazard, the 4 stones circulating thus might always be the same 4. In which case, far from sucking 16 stones turn and turn about, I was really only sucking 4, and always the same turn and turn about. But I shuffled them well in my pockets before I began to suck, and again while I sucked before transferring, in the hope of obtaining a more general circulation of the stones from pocket to pocket. Yes, yes. It was only a makeshift, and could not long content a man like me. So I began to look for something else. And the first thing I hit upon was that I might do better to transfer the stones 4 by 4 instead of 1 by 1. That is to say, during the sucking, to take the 3 stones remaining in the right pocket of my greatcoat and replace them by the 4 in the right pocket of my trousers, and these by the 4 in the left pocket of my trousers, and these by the 4 in the left pocket of my greatcoat, and finally these by the 3 from the right pocket of my greatcoat, plus the 1 that was in my mouth as soon as I had finished sucking it. Yes. It seemed to me at first that by so doing I would arrive at a better result. But on further reflection, I had to change my mind and confess that the circulation of the stones 4 by 4 came to exactly the same thing as their circulation 1 by 1. For if I was certain of finding each time in the right pocket of my greatcoat 4 stones totally different from their immediate predecessors, the possibility nevertheless remained of my always chancing on the same stone within each group of 4, and consequently of my sucking not the 16 stones turn and turn about as I wished, but in fact 4 only, and always the same turn and turn about. Oh, damn it, hell with it. So I had to seek elsewhere than in the mode of circulation, for no matter how I caused my stones to circulate, I always ran the same risk. Whoa! It was obvious that by increasing the number of my pockets, I was bound to increase the chances of enjoying my stones in the way I had planned. That is to say, one after the other until their number was exhausted. Had I had 8 pockets now instead of the 4 I did have, even the most diabolical hazard could not have prevented me from sucking at least 8 of my 16 stones turn and turn about. The truth is, I should have needed 16 pockets in order to be quite easy in my mind. And for a long time I could come to no other conclusion than this, that short of having 16 pockets, each with its own stone, I could never reach the goal I had set myself, short with extraordinary hazard. And if at a pinch I was to double the number of my pockets, but only by dividing each pocket in two with the help of a few safety pins, let us say. To quadruple them, was more than I could manage. And I did not feel inclined to take all that trouble for a half measure. For I was beginning to lose all sense of measure after all this wrestling and wrangling, and to say all or nothing. I finally reached a solution. Inelegant, assuredly, but sound. All that was necessary was to put, for example, to begin with, 6 stones in the right pocket of my greatcoat or supply pocket, 5 in the right pocket of my trousers, and 5 in the left pocket of my trousers. Now that makes a lot. Twice 5, 10, plus 6, 16. And none, for none remained in the left pocket of my greatcoat, which for the time being remained empty. Good. Now I can begin to suck. Watch me closely. I take a stone from the right pocket of my greatcoat, suck it, stop sucking it, put it in the left pocket of my greatcoat, the one empty. I take a second stone from the right pocket of my greatcoat, suck it, put it in the left pocket of my greatcoat, and so on, until the right pocket of my greatcoat is empty, and the 6 stones I have just sucked are all in the left pocket of my greatcoat. Pausing then, and concentrating, so as not to make a balls of it, I transfer to the right pocket of my greatcoat, in which there are no stones left, the 5 stones in the right pocket of my trousers, which I replace by the 5 stones in the left pocket of my trousers, which I replace by the 6 stones in the left pocket of my greatcoat. At this stage, then, the left pocket of my greatcoat is again empty, and the right pocket of my greatcoat is again supplied, and in the right way. That is to say, with other stones than those I have just sucked. These other stones I then begin to suck one after the other, and to transfer, as I go along, to the left pocket of my greatcoat, being absolutely certain as far as one can be in an affair of this kind, but I am not sucking the same stones as a moment before, but others. And when the right pocket of my greatcoat is again empty, and the 5 stones I have just sucked one after the other are all, without exception, in the left pocket of my greatcoat, then I proceed to the same redistribution as a moment before, or similar redistribution. That is to say, I transfer to the right pocket of my greatcoat, once again available, the 5 stones in the right pocket of my trousers, which I replace by the 6 stones in the left pocket of my trousers, which I replace by the 5 stones in the left pocket of my greatcoat. And there I am, ready to begin again. Do I have to go on? No. But it is clear after the next series of sucks and transfers, I shall be back to where I started. That is to say, with the first 6 stones back in the supply pocket, the next 5 in the right pocket of my stinking old trousers, and finally the last 5 in the left pocket of same. And my 16 stones will have been sucked once at least, in impeccable succession. Not one sucked twice, not one left unsucked. But deep down, I didn't give a tinker's curse. It was all the same to me whether I sucked a different stone each time or always the same stone till the end of time. For they all tasted exactly the same. And if I had collected 16, it wasn't to suck them turn and turn about, but simply to have a little store, so as never to be without. But deep down, I didn't give a fiddler's damn about being without. When they were all gone, they would be all gone, and I wouldn't be any the worse off, or hardly any. So the solution to which I rallied in the end was to throw away all the stones but one, which I kept now in one pocket, now in another, which I, of course, soon lost, or gave away, or threw away, or swallowed.